Afternoon everyone, and we are at week 4. One whole month of these tastings, which I'm super excited about. So we are gonna just get straight into it and we'll go from there. Okay, so today we are going to be tasting a wine by Terra Monteschiavo, called Sassaiorio. I think it's called that anyway. I could be wrong. Let's have another look. There you go. And this is from the Marche region of Italy. Now Marche, and we'll get to this bit in a second, but Marche sits on the Adriatic side of Italy. It is to the west of it is Tuscany. To the north you have Emilia-Romagna, and then in the south you have Abruzzo, you have Lazio, and then pretty much the rest of Italy after that point. Okay, and if I click my fingers like this, you should have just seen a picture or a map of where Marche is. You will have seen where the producer is highlighted as well, just north of a little town called Jesi, and then its whole location within Italy itself. Now, the supplier, the person who makes this wine, makes a whole host of wines, and Marche is very famous for Verdicchio and white wines specifically. This is called Rosso Piceno, and it is a DOC, which is a Denominazione Originale Controllata, which means it's a slightly stricter version of an IGP wine like we had last week, which means that you can only call it this wine if it's the right type of grapes, the right kind of location, and it is made and produced in a certain way. This is Rosso Piceno. Rosso means red. Piceno kind of refers to a little town called Ascoli Piceno in the south of Marche, but you can make Rosso Piceno anywhere in Marche, but it must be there, alright? Now the wine itself is made from 2 grapes. It's Sangiovese and Montepulciano. Sangiovese for me is pretty much the godfather of Italian red wines. There are some arguments that you could potentially put Nebbiolo in there as well, but Sangiovese is what goes into Chianti, it's what goes into Super Tuscan wines, it's what goes into Brunello di Montalcino, and for me it is one of the best grapes of Italy, if not the best. Humble opinion, I know. And then you have Montepulciano, which is really widely planted, especially in this part of Italy, all the way from Marche, all the way down to Puglia, basically, and famously makes Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, which is the very specific type of red from the Abruzzo region, which is just the further south. Sangiovese is going to be that little bit, I guess, in comparisons-wise, it's lighter in colour, but it has much more complexity and takes a better age than the Montepulciano. And the Montepulciano has some softer tannins to it and should kind of balance the two together. They have to be used in this wine, and this wine has very strict rules on how much can be used of whichever type of grape. And if you want to look those up, you can do. For me, this is the classic example of 50-50. Okay? Now, Marche is a lot cooler. Well, not a lot cooler, but cooler than Tuscany, and because of where it is, you have a Mediterranean climate close to the coast, and you have a more continental climate where the mountains run through the middle of it, and they're called the Apennine Mountains that run through Italy. And again, you will have seen that on the map as well. The producers, they initially started as olive oil producers. About 20 years ago they started moving into other agriculture, and now the Pierolesi family have 100 hectares of vine and make some fantastic wines, and this Rosso Piceno should be a really classic example of this wine, and I'm so excited to try it. I've never tried it, so obviously this is going to be really good. So I think at this point, we'll talk some more after I've done this, but we're going to look at it, we're going to sniff it, we're going to swill it, and then we're going to taste it. Those 4 things, and then everything else is just nuts and toppings, as it were. So, I opened this about an hour ago, so it's had about an hour to breathe, alright? Now, colour-wise, it's pretty medium ruby. It's pretty dark. It's good. Let's smell it. Oh wow. Okay, so spices. So a little bit of like warm, nutmeggy, clovey type spices. Much deeper and richer, like deep plums. A sort of a dark ruby plum kind of flavour. Some dark red cherry. Maybe a little hint of earthiness as well. A little bit of leaf. Oh, and just lots of I guess sour cherries definitely. Plum. It's a beautiful nose to it. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit violety or licoricey. Yeah, that's good. That's great. That smells amazing. So it has a really bright aromatic smell to it. Okay, giving it a little swirl. I'm just going to have a little glass of water, sorry guys. It's a warm day today. Right, taste it. So if you leave your mouth open after you've tried some red wine like that and just allow the air to get in there, the tannins will start to give you this sensation of starting to make your mouth water, and it kind of gives you a really good understanding of how intense the tannins are going to be for that wine. It's not overtly tannic. It's really well balanced actually. As taste goes, definitely plum, definitely sour cherry, a lot more violet and black licorice on there as well. You have some herbal notes, but it's more like I would say that slightly earthy aroma that is really enjoyable about Sangiovese and this kind of wine. It's had some age to it. It could certainly age for a bit longer. I mean, it's 2016 vintage. Well, obviously in 2020, but this would have been released in 2019, I would have thought. So it's had 3 years. When I opened the cork, when I opened the bottle, I don't know if you can see that there, but I can show you later. It says 2018 in it, which means it probably spent best part of 18 months in oak barrels or some sort of barrel. On the technical sheet, it says it was in large oak butts, which means some of those smoky and slightly more leathery, and it is kind of leathery and woody and really enjoyable like that, flavours will come from that aging in oak. This wine supplier has been certified organic, but only from the 2019 vintage onwards. So whilst this wine is technically not certified organic, it would have been made with organic principles for 5 years before they even got certified. So firstly, incredible tasting wine, really intense, and actually I think you can, those spicy notes are definitely there. Yeah, still lots of red fruit, but not like the sort of Grenache wines that we had before. We're talking really intense, like red cherry, sour cherry, black plum, maybe a bit of blackberry as well. And that slightly blackberry leaf, nettle leaf kind of raspberry leaf flavour as well. it is very much of the region. And where they make this wine, it's just to the north of Jesi, in the Castelli di Gesù zone. It is an award-winning lot called Colle del Sol, and it has very rich clay loam soil. So they have to really manage the vines hard because the soil's actually too good to grow quality grapes. So you have to really manage the vines hard so the yield is not too high, so you get really good quality liquid in there. The wine itself is beautiful. That does not taste like a £10 bottle of wine. That tastes like a £15 or £20 bottle of wine. It is superb. It still has a bit more time left on it if you wanted it to, but it's beautiful drinking now. You want that with rich pastas. Spicy tomato pasta would work, maybe not too spicy. Lasagna definitely. Really rich, meaty kind of pasta sauces. Pizza would work as well, something that's cheesy and you're talking hard goat's cheeses as well, hard sheep's cheese. Maybe it would work with charcuterie, but not too much, and roasted meats, and it needs something robust to go with it. The tannins are chewy, but not over the top, and the wine itself is a beautiful representation of Rosso Piceno. Okay? Certainly get yourself a little bottle of it. Eat 17 I bought this from. It was £10. Absolutely worth it. And you guys will enjoy this. Alright? Sassaiola 2016 Rosso Piceno, Marche, Italy. Cheers. That's a wrap. Done.